This one truth will change how you see your life forever, because one choice creates your entire path. If you're looking for motivation, wisdom, and life lessons, take the path of purpose.
How do I make a difference in the world? Every person, at some point in their life, asks the question, how can I make a difference in the world? It is a question that has driven the greatest minds, the bravest souls, and the most compassionate hearts throughout history. The truth is, making a difference is not about grand gestures alone. It is not reserved for world leaders or the wealthy. It is about the choices we make, the values we uphold, and the impact we create through our actions. No matter how small, history shows us that individuals, no matter their background, can change the course of humanity. The evidence is undeniable. Those who dared to act, who refused to be bystanders, who committed themselves to a cause greater than themselves, are the ones who shaped our world. Consider Mahatma Gandhi, a single man who stood against the mighty British Empire not with violence, not with hatred, but with the power of non-violent resistance. His leadership in India's fight for independence changed the course of history, proving that one person's commitment to justice can inspire millions. But Gandhi did not set out to be a world changer. He simply followed his belief that injustice should never be tolerated. His example reminds us that making a difference begins with standing up for what is right, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Look at Rosa Parks, who, by refusing to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, ignited the civil rights movement in America. She did not carry weapons. She did not use power. She simply said no to injustice. That single act of defiance sparked a revolution, proving that even the smallest stand against oppression can send ripples across history. Her courage was not born from a desire for fame, but from a deep sense of fairness. Making a difference begins with moral courage, the ability to do what is right, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is dangerous. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison for fighting apartheid in South Africa. He could have emerged bitter, seeking revenge. Instead, he chose reconciliation, peace, and unity. He dismantled one of the most oppressive systems in history through forgiveness and dialogue. His story teaches us that making a difference often requires patience, resilience, and the willingness to put the greater good above personal pain. Change does not always come overnight, but persistence and the right principles will always outlast oppression. Now, some might say, but these were extraordinary people. What can I, an ordinary person, do? The answer is simple. Look at history again. The greatest movements were not just led by one person. They were fueled by countless individuals who played their part. The American Revolution was not won by George Washington alone, but by thousands of soldiers and citizens who believed in freedom. The abolition of slavery was not achieved by one man, but by generations of voices who refused to stay silent. The fall of the Berlin Wall was not brought about by one leader, but by thousands of citizens who demanded change. If we want to make a difference, we must understand that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture. It is the teacher who inspires a child to dream bigger. It is the volunteer who feeds the hungry. It is the scientist who dedicates years to finding a cure. It is the writer who challenges ideas and sparks critical thinking. It is the neighbor who helps someone in need. Every change begins with a single act. No contribution is too small, The greatest mistake we can make is believing that we are too insignificant to matter. Consider Malala Yousafzai, a young girl who simply wanted to go to school. When extremists tried to silence her, she refused to be afraid. Today, she is a global symbol for education and women's rights. Her story proves that even the most powerless person, in the most hopeless circumstances, can rise and create change. Making a difference means refusing to be silent in the face of injustice, no matter who you are or where you come from. So, how do we start? First, we must find our purpose. Making a difference does not mean changing the entire world at one seat. It means starting where we are. What are you passionate about? What problems in your community need solving? What skills do you have that can be used to help others? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Everybody can be great because everybody can serve." No matter your talent, there's a way to use it for good. If you can teach, educate someone. If you can build, create something useful. If you can lead, inspire others. If you can give, share what you have. Making a difference starts with recognizing what you can offer and putting it into action. Second, we must take action. Ideas are powerful, but they mean nothing without execution. Too often, people wait for the right time to act. They wait until they have more money, more experience, more support. But history teaches us that change happens because people act, despite uncertainty. If Gandhi had waited until he had full support, India might still be under British rule. If the civil rights leaders had waited for a perfect moment, segregation might have lasted decades longer. The truth is, there is never a perfect time, there is only now. If you want to make a difference, start today. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. Third, we must be willing to face resistance. Every great movement has faced opposition. Every leader has faced doubt. Every idea that changed the world was first met with skepticism. But history shows that perseverance is stronger than resistance. The Wright brothers were ridiculed for believing that humans could fly. Today, air travel connects the world. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Today, the world is illuminated because of his persistence. If we want to make a difference, we must be prepared to face challenges and push through them. Fourth, we must inspire others. Change is not sustainable if it is done alone. The most powerful movements in history spread because people inspired others to join them. When one person acts, it creates a ripple effect. We do not have to lead massive movements, but we must be examples. When we act with kindness, others follow. When we stand up for what is right, others gain courage. When we strive for excellence, others are motivated to do the same. Making a difference is not just about what we do, it is about how we inspire those around us to also take action. Finally, we must never underestimate the power of hope. The world can be dark. Injustice, suffering, and corruption exist, but history shows that the light always overcomes the darkness. Slavery was abolished. Dictatorships have fallen. Diseases have been cured. The impossible has been made possible because people believed that change was worth fighting for. Making a difference means choosing hope over cynicism. It means believing that no effort is wasted, no act of kindness is insignificant, and no dream is too big. We may not all be world leaders. We may not all have the fame of historical figures, but we all have the power to create change. We all have the ability to make a difference, whether through small daily actions or through great movements. Every effort matters. The world is shaped by those who refuse to accept things as they are, and instead work toward what they should be. The question is not whether you can make a difference. The question is whether you will. The choice is yours. Will you stand by and watch the world happen? Or will you step forward and be part of shaping its future? Because the truth is, history is not written by those who watch it. It is written by those who act. It is written by people like you. It is written by people who decide, in this moment, that they will not just exist, but that they will matter, that they will make a difference.